here about poker. I'll just show you here. See my stats. I just checked it out. So raise 23%. So win rate is kind of low, 26.8%. I'm only playing 6.8% above luck because it's five-handed. So I played town. I played 64 tournaments, 10 wins in the money 47 times. City, 3 wins in the money 7 times. County, I played 3 tournaments, 3 wins. So I'm going to lose now because they like to cheat. Every time I see how well I do, then you'll see how I'm going to suck. They're going to get lucky at this point. That's what always happens. They get lucky, they rig it. I put a guy on a straight flush, and I made 60 videos after that, and the odds were something like 1 in 19.6 million. I would have had to play 19.6 million hands. I would have had to play poker for like about 20 years to online, 18 hours a day for that situation to occur. And I was right. And they made a situation 3 weeks later, and I suspected that he had the straight flush, but I thought, wow, it's only been 3 weeks. It's such an unlikely occurrence that I'd run into it again because I knew it would be 1 in millions that I didn't call. But I was right. He had the straight flush the second time. I'm real, like, they made me, they would hack names and faces out of my head, so I became the best situational poker player on the planet. I just play situations. I don't even look at the players' names. I assume they have 100% information on me, and I have 0% information on them. I just play situations. Okay, so this guy, what does he have? So now, did he sneak in with the jack? Oh, he has the jack, I think. I have to call, though. He has the jack. No, he had the 9. You could tell, like, I thought he had the jack because he was interested on the river. So I could tell that the river made his hand, but, so let's see if I can put them on a hand in this video. On this site, Poker Mega Hit, the blinds are really fast, so you have to be aggressive. Which I don't like because you have to make riskier decisions, being more aggressive. With a slower blind structure, you could be less. I think he has a better kicker than me, but he does. So he had a 5. Thought he had a better kicker than me, but it's worth a shot since because the thing is, when you play against people online, a beginner player, their panties get moist when they have a decent, like, weak hands, right? Like if I'm at the casino, I might see them. Their hands might be all shaking and all that. And so I'm like, okay, they have a strong hand. They must have a straight or a flush. And then they turn over like ace king with like a pair of aces with a king kicker, right? So you could tell that they have a good hand, but not the best hand. Whereas that's based on their inexperience, right? So, like, and you can't tell basically how long somebody's played online, right? So I did play on this last year. They allowed me to play this real money app, and I was ranked professional 4 times. And what happened was I was ranked professional, and then they made me over 3 consecutive weeks. I went from professional to amateur. It was like, so equivalent to being, like, say, in the NHL, and then the league below the NHL is the OHL. It was like me being, and then junior B. It was like me being in the NHL and then going to junior B, and then in 2 days I made professional again when they weren't cheating. He's gonna hit the 9, or I won. I won with pocket deuces. Wow. I won with pocket deuces. You'll see, like, they ripped me off. Well, I played about almost 5 million hands, and they ripped me off over 400,000 times. As an 86.3% favorite, they've ripped me off 10,000 times in real money. Real money. They were giving me reverse odds. Because they suck. So I might be able to come back, and I'm going to try to win this now. I'm going to try to, I thought it was going to be out, right? Because I only had 9K, so I'm going to play conservative. Let's see what this guy does. So it's on, like on this particular site, you have to be aggressive. You got to, like if you have lots of chips, you need to jam and go all in to force them to fold because the blinds get so high, right? Okay, so this guy, let's see, I'm going to raise it to try to see what he has. If he jams and he has the ace, okay, he jammed. So I'm going to fold. He could have the straight or the ace there, but that's why you raise, because when you bet in poker, there's 3 different types of bets you're making. Bet for information, bet to call, and then bet. Are you trying to get them to fold? Are you trying to get them to raise? Are you trying to get them to call? Basically, when you bet in poker, right? So there's 3 different. When you bet, there's 3 different outcomes that you want, basically. See, here's a situation where I'm going to jam because the blinds are so high, and even if I didn't have a good hand, I would jam here probably. You do get some weak calls. I'm expecting this guy and the second place guy here to have an atrocious hand. He's 5. Well, he has the leading hand, but the 5 kicker was terrible, right? Oh, whatever. I told you I was going to lose, right? He did have the best hand pre-flop, but that was pretty atrocious. I've yet to come from behind since I've opened up this account on this poker mega poker hit, mega hit poker, baby. And but they've came from behind 5-6 times now. They didn't want me to win play 4 tournaments and win 4. I was ranked professional or legend, like whatever it was. As soon as I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go for world class or be the best, then they sabotage me. As soon as I have a goal, they sabotage me. When I was a financial advisor, I would call people out of the phone books. I went to a different city, went house to house. I'd call people out of the phone book every day. I'd take out ads out online. I went above and beyond. And you know what happened to me when I was a financial advisor? They allowed me to destroy my credit. They suck. I hate Canadians. I hate Canada. I hate the Liberals. Since the Liberals been in party, you know what? Canada, since the Liberals been in party for 3 elections now, immigrations went up from 12.5% of Canadians to 25%, and child pornography went up 565%. And you know what? They say that white people are more like sexual deviants. And you know what? White people, we have nude beaches, we have strip clubs, and we have women that wear very provocative clothing. But whereas some countries you can't even show a woman's ankle, right? And as if those people aren't more likely to be sexual deviants. Right, the Liberals, all they do is cause problems. And Mark Carney rigged the election through Dream Condition. Like that's why Cheap Trick wrote the song Dream Police. Right, the Liberals won't be in power much longer. I'm going to seek asylum, and then once I'm king of the United Kingdom, I'm going to reveal everything that the Canadian government does. So here's where I'm going to try to make a play here. But he might have heard me, so they're going to call with some weekend. They're going to call with like a 6 or 7. Even though the point of poker is to guess what the other person has, these cowards, they like to see your hands. The whole point of poker is to figure out what the person has. The game isn't fun if you could see their hands. If you can see your opponent's hands, the game isn't even fun. Like if you want to cheat, why play poker? Poker, you could win millions of dollars. Cheat on the stock market where you could win billions of dollars. was a big raise. I'm going to fold because the 5 kicker is pretty terrible. But you could make the wheel straight, right? Like, but here's the situation. Let's see. I think I would have lost his hand. I think I would have lost to a flush. It's going to end up being a flush. He didn't show the cards. Oh, he had a 9. Oh. Nice. He could have had ace 9 because I do that sometimes too. I only show the weak card. Like whenever I'm playing poker, right? You know, I'm the master giving the student advice, right? So if I show you a bluff on film, most of the time I'm not bluffing, right? But not always, right? And if I play a hand a certain way where I'm not bluffing, then most of the time I'm not bluffing, but sometimes I do bluff that way. Right? You got to switch it up, right? Like in poker, if you're new to poker, you go to the casino, and a weaker player, as soon as when they're interested in the pot, they're going to lean forward towards the table. They're going to lean forward towards the table, and or they're going to look at their chips before it's their hand, right? Before it's their turn to make a decision. So they're going to look at their chips, so you know that they're interested in the pot, and they're going to make a raise. Or they want to get all their chips. When they're looking at their chips, they want to go all in usually. They want to go all in. They can't. They're salving. They can't wait to get all your money, right? So if I'm at the poker table and you see me looking at my chips, sometimes it's going to be a con, right? Sometimes I'm not. I have nothing. I'm going to lead you, especially if you knew who I was, right? If you seen who I was and I was famous, right? I'd be bluffing basically. I'd be looking at my chips sometimes intentionally. I'd be leaning forward intentionally, or I'd be leaning back like I'm not interested in the pot. Right, so that's why when you're playing poker at the casino, you don't want to look at your hand until it's your turn, because you're going to inadvertently give away tells that make more observant players like myself just pick you apart, basically. Because you know, there was that movie Rounders where the character Matt Damon he walked into the room and he put a guy on cards, right? So I'm like, okay, well, to succeed in Vegas, you have to be that good. So I became that good with millions of hands of practice. I get played something like 870,000 real money hands and over 4 million play money hands. As soon as I would lose with real money, I would just start playing play money. And I've been my top 3 tournaments. I've came first out of 8,000 in a play money tournament. I came first out of 1,467 in a $1 real money tournament, and first out of 1,252 in a play money tournament. But they pretended that I won $8.2 million of real money, and I panhandled the next day. Right, I put a guy on a straight flush. Right, I could spin a cup of water behind my back and catch it through my legs. So the government of Canada stops me from panhandling. With chemical electrolysis, they have robotics that would hinder this. But if not, I would just go to Young Dundas and I'd have a cup of water. Well, I'd have bottles of water, and I'd have a line. I'd say a $50 line and a $20 line, and then bet people accordingly how much water I spill. And I'd make a fortune. Then I'd go to the casino, and then I'd make a fortune. Then I'd invest in stocks. But Canada doesn't want me to pay lots of money in taxes. They want to give me social assistance instead. Because they have fucking losers like Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney running the country. You know, a carnival, somebody that works at the carnival, you call them a carny because they're circus fucking freaks. That's what you call a carny. The circus freak, you call them. This one guy, his name's, what's his name? Andy. But he said the difference between the zoo and someone that works at the carnival is at night they lock the animals up, but at night they let the carnies loose. It was funny. He was a funny guy. So anyways, the government of Canada, they say that I have schizophrenia, right? So computer-assisted if you search on the internet, computer-assisted telepathy, YouTube specifically, it shows that with technology that they're able to listen to your thoughts. Like Frederick Myers coined the term in 1882 about telepathy. My name is Christian Eric Arnie Meyer. Stephanie Meyer, spelled the exact same way, wrote a book about parasitic aliens that steal attributes. And I'm talking about parasitic humans that steal attributes 10 years later, right? Because it's true, they do. And your brainwaves are measured in hertz, just like a television. Just like a television. Your brainwaves are measured in hertz, and did I finish the one? So your brainwaves are measured in hertz, and just like a television. And if you look online, the frequencies of emotion, right? And then the government's like, okay, there's the frequencies of emotion. So how would the government know the frequencies of emotions if they didn't listen to your thoughts? And I'll show you right now. Because it would be freedom of words, right? In the Canadian Charter of Rights, it says freedom of thought, not words. Freedom of thoughts. And here's me, like this looks like me hadron. I look like a lot of Roman emperors. The government keeps me poor because I'm the true king of the United Kingdom. So King Charles needs to abdicate the throne. So let's see. Watch this. Freedom of thought. Freedom of thought. Charter of Rights. Guaranteed freedom of thought, belief, and expression. So why would they have that if they, and George Orwell wrote a book called 1984 in 1949 about the thought police, right? People have been able to listen to your thoughts your entire life, and they had crystal balls for thousands of years, and crystal balls, they claim they could see your thoughts. They would have given up on crystal balls if you couldn't see your thoughts. We're made up of water. Water conducts electricity. So your brain is basically a motherboard. They could input, just like my cell phone right now. It's not connected to the satellites physically, but through electromagnetic waves, I could connect to the satellite, right? So through chemical electrolysis, they're able to manipulate your gyro, basically control your movements, and then manipulate. In Canada, every square inch every surface is measured. They put a Gauss reading in it to manipulate your movements and organize. Well, pro sports is rigged because of this, and they steal my attributes because I'm a physical specimen. People are awesome. I did a scissor kick, 6 feet high, where I'd kick the hat down, kick the hat up, and make the hat land on my head simultaneously. So I'd do a scissor kick, and I sent it to People Are Awesome, and you know what happened? It didn't even make it on the website. All they do is suppress my greatness. Salacious voice. You mean Spectacle Man or Smarticus? You mean Smarticus? They say he has schizophrenia, but he's super sarcastic, and sarcasm is a sign of a healthy brain? Oh, fuck no. You mean fuck no. You mean Jabediah Beard guy? The day that they formed me, I just posted a video about, I made a song called Panty Remover, and it's pretty phenomenal. I wrote a song called Summer in the Jeans that is a Grammy-winning song for country. I wrote a song called, I wrote several Grammy-winning songs, and every time I just say I'm reading one lyric, and I'm getting ready to pump it up and do some special moves, the next lyric, since they can listen to my thoughts, they have these generational pedophiles sabotage me. So my songs are good, but they're not great because people sabotage me, sabotage my greatness. As soon as I'm about to inflect my voice or do some special moves, just like that when I played baseball. The first time I played I'll tell you first of all, my grandfather turned down a professional baseball contract because it was in the 40s, and he didn't think he could have a house in Cincinnati and Toronto at the same time. So he turned down a professional baseball contract. He was rich at the time, but my dad had servants until 10. Then my dad, he got drunk. They made him get drunk before he had a tryout for the NHL when there's only 6 teams. So I grew up always thinking I'd be a professional athlete. And my son's the best soccer player on the planet. And so anyways, at 15 years old, the very first time somebody threw a hard ball at me, I tried out for the rep team, playing against kids that have been playing since T-ball. The very first time I played hardball, I would have made the rep team, but it was $2,000 at the time, and they kept my parents on social assistance. So I didn't even ask my parents. I said, "Hey, Dad, sign me up for House League." It was $60. They called me up to play against 21-year-olds 3 times as a 15-year-old. And I didn't realize it was the last year of House League. If not, I would have went up, right? Or if they would have said, "This is how you become a professional baseball player," then I would have did whatever necessary to become a professional baseball player. Because I love baseball. You get a dive, you get a hit, and throw, right? It's a fun sport. Like I love soaring through the air and catching the ball or smashing. But every single time, like they made me play baseball, and we didn't play with a fence. So every single time I'm like, I'm going to crush the ball. I'm going to smash a home run. I'm going to eat it. They'd make me fly out. I'd hit the ball up so high that the guy could basically walk, like run, walk underneath it. And they'd make me fly out. Every single time. A guy named Tim, some fucking loser in town. In Ontario. It's a city full of losers. There's a lot of talent in here, but there's a lot of losers as well. All the talented people are in the morgue now or in the mental health ward. Stage code yellow, the patient from 3A, room 320, bed 3, please return to your unit. First stage code yellow, the patient from 3A. So I'm going to try to win the pot. See, the pot is 2.8K, right? So nobody is seeming interested in this pot. So, well, I just happened to hit, right? So I'm going to make a bet here, but even if I didn't hit the hand there, I'll show them, but I was going to show them. But even if I didn't hit, I was going to bluff there because of nobody was seeming interested in. And so one thing when you play poker, what you got to realize is once you put money in the pot in the middle, it's no longer your money. It's no longer your money. So once you psychologically understand that, you're not going to make prideful decisions, because when you make decisions based on pride, you usually get screwed over, right? So once the money's in the pot there, the 46K, like, well, they're so short stacked that they have to fight for it, right? But like it just say it's a reasonable amount. Like this is a poorly blind structured site, but with a typical blind structure site, like just say there's but you got to think of pot odds and outs, right? So basically, if there's $200 in the pot, and you only have, say, 6 outs that you could possibly make the best hand with, that would mean so say you had 6 outs out of say 9 outs out of 45 cards. You had 9 outs out of 45 cards, so you have a 1 in 5 chance of hitting. So that means there's $200 in the pot. So now you need to, so 1 in 5. So what would that be? So that means if you could only call a bet that's under $40 to make it mathematically profitable for you long term to play. If you call a bet over $40, you're mathematically a losing player because you're making bad pot odds, right? Because your odds of hitting your hand are 1 in 5, but if you're playing 60 now out of the 200, your odds now you're seeing that your odds are 1. What would it be? Say 1.5 out of 5. Your odds are hitting. So you're going to be losing 0.5% of the time, right? So you're going to be losing long term if you consistently make these hands over 1 million hands, right? You're going to cost yourself a fortune, basically. Right, so you always got to think of the pot odds. Like this is a poorly blind structured site, so I can't really show you on here. I'll try to. Like this tournament, the blinds are too high. So next tournament, I'll show you if I have time. Well, I don't have time. I'm at the mental health ward. I have to hand in my phone in 2 minutes, so I don't have time. So I'm gonna try to steal the pot right now. I'm going to try to steal it right now. So if you do show cards when you're at the poker table, it gives you an opportunity to bluff later on. And if you do show a bluff, what you do is you don't bluff for a while and always have it, then you get paid off. Right? There's always strategy. The guy uses my mind for strategy. Right? My son, he's the second most capable man on the planet, and he says I'm the god of strategy. And if he was my dad, he'd be the god of strategy. But I'm his dad, right? He came from my nutsack. See, that's funny and sarcastic, right? And they say I have a mental health issue. How is that possible? Canada is going to look insane. The Dr. Ogbonna is going to look insane. He's going to be delicensed very soon. Because in Canada, they form you, like anybody could form somebody. They could say they're they're a physical harm to themselves or another person, and then they end up in the mental health ward, which is atrocious. And you have 72 hours to be evaluated. So under the Freedom of Information Act, it's going to show that I wasn't a threat to myself or anybody within those 72 hours, but he decided to extend it for 13 days past that. And they kept me in seclusion for 10 days, and they don't give me smoke breaks. And this guy, he escaped. The guy told me, he's like, I walked 40 kilometers away, and they've already given him smoke breaks, but not Christian Eric Arnie Meyer. Right, so as soon as I get out of the hospital, I'm litigating. I'm so tired of being fucked over by Canada. They've raped me and my kids our entire lives because we have evolved human biology. I showed proof to the lawyer, where I showed 3 different bags. Regular human biology. I'll show you right after this video here. I won. Right after this tournament, I mean. I'll show you 3 different bags that prove that I have evolved human biology. That means enhanced human characteristics. I've been the first in the world in 2 games. I doubled my money in the stock market in 16 days. And in 2016, when you got a mutual fund in Canada, it takes 12 years for your money to double. I did it in 16 days. But they keep me poor. The Canadian government rather me be poor than me pay billions of dollars in taxes. Because they're fucking losers. Okay, I'm going to try to win this now. I might be able to win this. Be aggressive. He should fold. Oh, he called. What does he have? Something atrocious. 210. He's going to get lucky, though. They always get lucky. He's going to hit the 5. The 10. Fucking I told you he's going to get lucky. They always get lucky. They rig it. So that's why I'm not rich. That's why I'm not rich at poker. And you know what? They allowed my old landlord. She's like, please do not put the foods in the fridge that aren't belong to you. It would be, you're stupid woman. It'd be, please do not put the foods in the fridge that don't belong to you. Right? So they allowed her to make it so I didn't go to Las Vegas. I would have went to Las Vegas from October 21st to April 21st because being Canadian, I'm allowed to go to America for 6 months of the year. I would have been in Las Vegas in Los Angeles for 6 months of the year. But this woman that can't even speak stopped me from doing so. Right, so I'll just show you here. So this guy looks like my dad. He was the second last German emperor. This is Allah. This looks like my dad and me. Here's what I look like when I'm not reduced. This is Marcus Aurelius, looks like me. I look like Roman emperors. This is Edward VIII, looks like me. This is how the government aged me in January, and I'll just show you what I look like now. Look at it, I don't have any wrinkles under my eyes. I'm biologically immortal. My body, they have to edit my face to get wrinkles. Look at it, I got a pimple right here. I'm 47 years old, and I got a pimple, right? They're monsters in Canada. They're monsters. So I'll just show you here. So here's what a typical back looks like. This is generation 1 biology. So I'll just show you here. You can see how it goes in like that. See those divots where it goes in like that. And I'll show you my son's back. He's basically generation 1.5. This is his back muscles. See how he doesn't have it. Look how big my son is. He's 19 years old. He's going to be known as Smoker. He's going to be the sexiest man on the planet. And here's my back muscles, which are even different from my son's. You see how it goes like a V, because I'm evolved human biology. I'm generation 2. Basically, I'm biologically immortal. I mated with a mortal woman, a human, generation 1 human, and I'm generation 2 human. My son's generation 1.5 human. right? So there's three different types of humans on the planet, basically. I only have 2 kids.